Hi guys, it's Yianni from Yiannimize and welcome back to Wrap My Banger. This is episode, mate, I don't even know what episode it is. So here's a quick recap. In March, I sat down with 4 members of staff to look at all the entries. Myself and Bert selected our top 5 with a little help from Gina. So you guys all voted for your top 2. COVID kicked in, so I came into Yiannimize to show you the results of the vote. And now I've got Briyan and Stuart coming down, the BMW 635 and the 300 Nissan ZX. I'm excited. First up is Briyan, and he's gonna be pulling in now in the BMW. Let's have a look at his car. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. How you doing? Do a little COVID spud.
Nice to meet you, man.
How you well? How are you? Nice to meet you, man. Wow, wow. First of all, welcome to Yiannimize.
Thank you very much for having me.
You made it?
Yeah.
First thing, I'm just looking at this car. It looks like your wheels are brand new. It looks like you just had your wheels refurbed.
Yeah, so I did those myself at home. I've had those for about 6 or 7 months, ready for this car. But whilst we were in lockdown, just trying to sort of pass time and stuff, I sprayed them up at home, got them on the car 2 days ago.
They look like the freshest thing on the car because everything else looks, should we say worn?
Tired, worn.
Tired,
yeah,
worn.
Yeah. You could call it a banger.
We could call it a banger. I think I'm going to get this car inside and have a proper look at this.
Yep.
I'm just looking at the duct tape there.
You can pull that off if you want.
Okay, I'll tell you what, spin the car around for me
and
let's reverse it into the workshop. But I'm glad you made it. I'm glad the car made it. Looks like he's got bits in the back of the car as well.
That's the wing.
That's the wing.
Yeah.
I hope he's got an MOT because that was part of the rules. It's a great car. It's got lovely Azave wheels. That's about it at the moment. Straight back, straight. That'll do ya. That old school handbrake. Well, I think I'm gonna get Bert down here as well. Me and Bert will have a look around this car. A part of me thinks, did I bite off more than I could chew? Hi Bert.
I need to be at work, didn't it? What colour would you call this?
Like a brushed silver with a flip of white, resin, primer.
It's held together by gaffer tape as well.
Yeah, got a bit of gaffer tape.
Can we pull this off?
We can. You gonna pull it off now?
Yeah.
Go on then. Where's the wing?
Wow.
That wing has left the building, but there's a new wing
It's
there.
here, look.
When I got the car, that was the first thing I did.
Look at that. Let me just quickly, Chris, just come and have a look at this. Terry, just come and have a look at this. Terry's like body shop, Chris, mechanic.
Will that polish out?
Definitely not.
Briyan, remember, this needs to have an MOT.
Yeah.
Not an MOT that you done 11 and a half months ago. Like, it needs to have an MOT.
It's got MOT.
It's got. When did you do the MOT?
So it would have expired, but obviously a 6 months extension at the moment, so I've not been out to get it re-MOT.
Okay.
I think that block's been there longer than 6 months.
When I got it MOT, it needed a bit of work, so I give it to a body shop to do some work on the sills.
You can feel the carpet.
I'll just go inside.
See your hand. So if you put your hand, we can see Chris's hands. Okay.
I can feel the car.
Okay. It's got lovely wheels. It's got the classic Azave wheels. Something's growing in the car.
Go on, break it.
It's got a lot of undersea.
Yeah, so when I got it MOT last, the guy said it needed a bit of work. So I
A bit of work.
Well, yeah,
I
to get it through the MOT. To get it through the MOT. I know that this car really needs to go somewhere for a full strip down and restoration. Like, I'm aware of that, but that was the whole thing with like my son. That money's just gone now. So it's like I'm trying to just keep the car in my family and whatever. Do you know what I mean? This is like a really important
So what it
thing
is
to
for me is that obviously I'm going to spend money on this car now to make it look amazing. I don't want to spend money on a car that's not going to last longer than a few months. And then you've got to go and MOT it next week and it's like fail. You've got a new wing in the car. That's it. You ain't got a new car in the car, have you?
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, pull the wing out, Bert.
I wish I did.
Beautiful, baby.
We could just kind of, I can hold that there.
Perfect. There you go. There you go. We'd never know. Bit of super glue. Right, Terry, Chris, The wrap, we know, we can do that. And obviously I've still got another car to come, I've got the 300ZX to come as well, yeah? And we're gonna do the same thing to his car, so don't worry, he's gonna get it as well, yeah? So I need to choose a car. So far as you're looking around this, how much work's involved?
I think if we delved into it, we'd be giving him back a car that's very lightweight and a couple of bags full of rust. So for me, it's way too much work. Way too much work to be involved in this.
But I'll foot the bill. I'm not worried about that. You're saying there's way too much involved. What I need to make sure is the car's safe, it does pass an MOT, okay, and it's road legal. That's what's important to me right now. And obviously when I see the 300ZX, we don't know what the 300ZX is going to look like. So
Pray it's better.
We'll pray. Okay, anyway guys, leave it to me and we'll come back. Briyan. You did say to me, obviously, you had a kid.
Yep.
How old's baby now?
He was 1 in lockdown actually, so June 24th was his birthday.
Little boy, congratulations.
Thank you very much, man.
So obviously the money you said you were going to spend on the car, you spent on the baby and doing things up now around the house?
Well, around the house, we needed a 5-door car, so my wife used to have a TT, I had this. And obviously we need a 5-door car, Isofix, all the rest of it. So I know that a car like this needs a shed load of money spending on it. So I had a decent amount of money saved up. And that money was gonna go on a deposit for a Kia Sportage, which that's not me, man.
Kia Sportage, BMW 635.
Yeah, they're different. That was gonna go on one of that, but we ended up with a 5-door. We bought a Golf R32, which is still a very nice car, and it does all the daily duties and whatnot. So that pot for this literally went straight on that car there. So,
which I understand. Listen, you've used it for a better cause.
This is my dream car. Like, if you ask me what would be like my 3-car garage, this would be one of them. I know, like, looking at it, it sounds crazy, but when I was growing up, there was a guy on my road who had one of these. Yeah. When I used to walk to school, I'd walk past it, and I was only that big in this car. I'd just see the front end of it on his drive, and I just think, wow.
Listen, it's a lovely car. It's a lovely car when it's in a good condition, and obviously that is why you entered Wrap My Bang Up. Let me just ask you one last question. Did the car look like this when you done your original video? Because it looks like it's in worse condition than when you filmed it.
It was worse than this, because since I did the video, I've done like bits and bobs of the bodywork, so like those lower rear quarters on both sides, a few other little sort of localized bits around the windscreen and stuff like that. So it should have been worse than it is now.
Well, listen, my guys are like, they're enjoying this. You got to remember, we're used to seeing Lambos, Ferraris, Porsches, Bentleys, and they're seeing a car now that some of my team are older, so this is something they would love. What I'm thinking is, I might take this for a drive.
More than welcome to.
I'm fully insured, because I have a trade policy. To be fair, I just hope it doesn't fall apart while I'm driving around. But I might just take it for a little drive and see what it drives like. Is that cool?
No problem.
But any last words? RIP or anything like?
No, well look, we'll go upstairs and have a look at colours anyway, and we'll see where we are. But if this doesn't go through, I'll probably have the wheels off here.
All right, but you go upstairs with Brian, and I'm going to take this for a drive.
What should I do with this?
Let's leave that. Tel, can you deal with this?
So he just said to me, if he does win, he's going to put this number plate on it. And that's actually a real plate, and obviously you can see what it says. Fixed. Nice. Jeez Louise. What a classic BMW dashboard. Love that old school handbrake. It's like a bus in it. At least it moves.
Okay, so we're upstairs in the office. Obviously, this is where we go through all the colour samples and whatever else. Remind me what you was thinking.
So in the video I said black rose or a dark green, just on the basis that I think for a car like that, you kind of want to go as close to a paint finish as possible. Okay. I don't think like mattes or satin, they might look good, but a car like that needs a sort of a paint look finish.
To be fair, I think I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so green is my colour. Green has always been my lucky colour with cars. Right. Black rose is the closest wrap that I've seen, which gives me that kind of deep, glossy colour.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me, I like to call it a bit of a glass of red wine.
Exactly. So like I was thinking, the reason I said green was I was sort of thinking like a green version of black rose, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's the black rose. Yeah, that's one.
It does take me back to my BMW days. I had an E30, E36, E46. I had them all. Do you know what I like about this? Is it's got coolant light on, by the way. It's got like the little computer on the side. If you know about BMWs, and you used to push the check button and they used to all light up all red, which is quite cool. On a level, I'm a bit concerned about the outside of the car and really the MOT. That's the truth on this right now. To be fair, it does drive quite nice. Drive straight. This really does take me back, and everything is leather in here. The dashboard, glove box, the whole door card, the seats, the center console, everything is leather. This is obviously a nice monster spec one back in the day. Squeaky brakes.
Eventually the car will go into a body shop for a full nut and bolt restoration, and when I do that, I'm not keeping it in the original colour. I'm going to go for, it's called BMW Malachite Green 2, which is a new BMW individual colour. So it's like the new flavour on an old car, which is what I will do when it gets painted.
So you're still sort of paying homage to the where it's come from, but obviously using current colours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We are UK distributors for Nosotech. Now, if you want to go for a bit more of a paint looking finish, I would push you over to a Nosotech, because once that's laid, the depth of colour and stuff like that, it is the closest you'll get compared to any of those to a paintwork finish. Now, I'm going to throw a couple that I think might work. That is a midnight gold. But like I say, remember, these are going to be the closest to paint.
Sure.
So a quick summary on this car. I'm very concerned about the MOT. My guys have looked at it. You can see it's falling apart everywhere. I know he's got a new wing, but literally they're putting their finger underneath the sill and it's touching the carpet. So it's got holes everywhere. That is a big concern, because the whole idea was wrap my banger, not do a full restoration on my car. It does need a lot of work. It's going to be interesting to see how good the 300ZX is that's coming now. But listen, I think Brian's a fantastic guy. I really like his story. I like the fact that he sacrificed doing up his car for his family, which is really, really nice. But this may be a little bit too far. But let's see, let's have a look at the 300ZX. Yo, so what have you decided?
Brian's go-to colour is green.
Okay, why?
That's my lucky colour. My first car was a Mark IV Polo, Dragon Green, got handed down from my sister. Mark II Golf, Oak Green, BMW E36 individual Aqua Green. Green has been, it's just my colour that I love on cars, and the darker greens is where I sort of really, I think it's a really stunning look.
Having a bit of a chat with Brian, I think it's more trying to keep a bit of a homage to its BMW roots as such, but he is open to sort of maybe going a little bit funky as such, because he's potentially thinking of air ride on the car in the future and stuff. So there's a bit of a broad spectrum, but
yeah, I think for a car like that, you kind of want to go back to like as close to a paint finish as possible.
Because obviously you haven't seen a paint finish on that in a long time.
I've never seen a paint finish on that since I bought it. Like, there's one little bit where it's a bit shiny, which I love.
I saw one bit on the door. I was like, okay, cool.
But I don't think my eyeballs would be able to believe it. Like if I was to come out of my house and see that every day, immediately I'm like drawn to that. Yeah,
that's where you're at.
Yeah, but then I imagine it on air ride and a colour like that with the silver wheels sort of popping out would look really cool.
So if I was to tell you now, make your decision.
It's that all day long. All day long, yeah.
Supergloss Midnight Green.
Lovely.
Okay. All right, well, we've had a look. The team have had a look. I've driven it.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get Stuart here. So Brian, thank you so much.
Thanks
it's been
for
a
having
pleasure.
me.
Thank you for coming down. And obviously you'll see the result in this video.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, guys.
That's the colour he wants. So Brian's left in the BMW 6 Series. Now we're going to get Stuart. Literally, I think they crossed over as one left, one arrived. So let's get the Banana 300ZX in and have a look at it. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
I'll give you a little COVID spud.
Yeah.
You will?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Pleased to meet you, man. Nice journey down?
It was easy, yeah, there's no cars, it was quite easy to get down.
Yeah?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
Car made it, no problem?
Yeah.
Do you drive this a lot?
I used to, but then when James came on board, I had
Yeah.
to put it away, and just, because I was going too quick, and you know, the car scene that he was in at the time and stuff like that, it was demanding, and kids come first, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. When I look around it, obviously the yellow, if this had like a good detail, like a level 3, level 4 detail, this would actually bring the yellow, like the pearl yellow back. This is like the classic
The original,
300ZX colour, isn't it? Like the pearlescent yellow. So I'm looking at a bit of rust on the front. Is that rust or is that
No,
just
that's just
paintwork?
chips off, yeah.
Is that just chips off?
Yeah, chips off, yeah.
I don't think your number plate's small enough on the front.
No, it's not been pulled, luckily enough.
When was it MOT'd?
About 4 months ago?
Okay, fine. So if we put it through another MOT, it would pass, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you see Brian on your way in?
I did, yeah, I waved him, I wished him luck.
These are like the classic, the original back in the day car.
Originally it was an automatic, but I had it swapped over to a manual.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You took the auto gearbox out?
1,500 quid back in the day to get that done.
Do you regret it now that you're older?
No.
No?
No. I do in my van. If I wish I'd automated my van because you're sitting in traffic all day and stuff like that when you're going to work. But in this, no. For a driver's car, it has to be automatic. It has to be manual.
Quad exhausts. Got the 2 and 2, you gotta love that. And also I remember the big square number plate, because obviously it doesn't fit in the back bumper, does it? That's gonna be fun. Because wrap won't stick to that. You know, like that peppery finish?
Yeah.
Wrap sticks to like a smooth finish, but okay. I think I'm gonna get Bert to come down and have a look at this as well and see what he thinks.
Here we go. Hey there, mate, you alright?
Yeah,
things?
thank you.
She's different colours in yellow.
Yeah. I had an accident about 10 years ago. I had to have a new front end put on, so that's why the paint's a bit faded there. And obviously the pearlescence going off the top as well.
So if we look for the original colour,
yeah,
what
from
is
your hand backwards probably.
Yeah?
Yeah. This door never got done or anything like that. It was just this wing, the bonnet and the bumper.
And what have you done to this car? So when you bought this car,
when I bought it originally, it had to go in for an engine rebuild. So I got that done first and foremost. I'm bringing it back from the engine rebuild. My dad was in front of me, and there was this Jaguar car, and I says to my dad, I says, I'm going to have to overtake this car, he's going too slow. Anyway, me and the Jaguar ended up in a crash. No. Yeah, he ended up on the back of here, so his back wheels were on here. His exhaust pipe were hanging out here.
Would you just rear-ended it?
Yeah, so then basically I just pulled it back. There was dent here. His car was an XJS, so it was a not very old one. Got written off. This had to go back in for new front end, and at the same time I just went, because I didn't have kids, I went, right, change the gearbox. So he changed the gearbox to a manual gearbox for me.
Yeah, you used to have an auto, now it's manual.
Oh right, okay.
Then obviously I've added the dump valves on it.
Oh, when you drive it, there's that.
Yeah.
When you change gear.
Yeah, it's got dump valves because it's a twin turbo, obviously. These are the original wheels that I had with it. I'm not 100% if they are original split rims or not, but other than brakes and just maintenance, you know, it was always a case of trying to keep it as original as possible, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To hold the volume and stuff like that. Over the years, you know, my family, my friends, everyone's told me to get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And then when James came along, I was like, nah, I was going to put it in storage. Luckily, I had somewhere to store it. But it just gives me so much joy.
Perfect person. Chris, what are we saying? What do you think of this?
Don't see many of them anymore, that's for sure. Do you mind if I have a quick little look over?
Yeah. Have a little look, Chris. Let's see if you can find anything. He's told me it's got an MOT, because obviously that was part of the rules. Anything you can see immediate?
We've got quite a bit of rust down just underneath.
How old is this car?
G-Reg, so that's what?
89?
89, 90, yeah.
What's that, 30 years old?
Yeah, nearly as old as me.
Lacquer peel on the mirrors.
Mate, I'm not worried about that. Mate, that's the least of my worries. That's the least of the worries, lacquer peel and stuff like that.
Yeah, so obviously front bumper, back bumper damage is going to need to be rectified. I'm trying to look at the car as an overall car of what it would look like once it was done. Overall, it's there. It's near enough solid.
So you happy for me to take you for a drive?
Yeah, very happy.
Just starts up, no problem?
Start up, no problem. Put your foot down, you're gone.
Okay, cool. So I'll let you go upstairs with Bert, have a look at some colours, and then I'll come upstairs and see you afterwards,
All
okay?
right, perfect.
Cool.
All right, I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to take this for a drive.
Let's go.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Nice.
Before I pull out any colours, give me an idea. What's the plan in your head with this car? Because I remember in your video you said sort of matte black.
I want it to be something signature where it stands out and looks good, you know, so people that can recognise it for a fair few years going, that's the 300ZX, that's the car that Yiannimize did.
You're not scared of it being a bold colour or anything like that? Well, you're driving around, it's yellow
as long
at
as
the
it's
minute.
not pink.
Fine.
I can handle it.
Although that will stand out.
Yeah, it would.
It would stand out, people would recognise it. To me, you stay away from your greys, you stay away from your sort of deep blues and whatever else. Let's go bold, let's
Yeah.
make it loud. Is there any colours that you don't like, apart from the pink, in terms of a bright colour, so like oranges, greens or anything like that?
As long as the car looks good,
Okay.
you know, it sounds good, it drives well, you know, I'm pretty much open to getting some advice off you guys. At the end of the day, this is your forte, and this is where, you know, I'm coming to take advice off you guys.
Oh, nearly stalled it, nearly stalled it, nearly stalled it. I didn't know. Saved it. Hear the dog now. Now this takes me back. Just that squeaking, a little mouse in the clutch. So, this drive's really cool, to be fair. Steering wheel seat's a bit off to the left. Might need some tracking. Sounds great. Can't believe he changes from an auto to a manual.
The one thing that I remember from your video is when you said matte black, I sort of just went, ugh. I felt a little bit deflated because number one, being a black, it's just going to sort of disappear anyway. Yeah, and being matte, it's quite an old-fashioned colour as such. I personally think satins, glosses are where you need to be. Lose the greys, lose the blues. Let's go bright, let's go bold. Let's go sort of, well, I said lose the blue, but you can get bold blues there as well. Oranges. I think they're all going to sort of stand out, to be completely honest.
The interior is not as nice as the BMW, but let's be honest, it is a Nissan at the end of the day. This is like the Nissan Micro generation, wasn't it? Indicators on the right as well. Proper Jap car. It's got half cloth and half, I'm not going to call them leather. This car is fun. Got 113,000 miles. The old school cars don't make them like they used to, that's for sure.
When I went to the car show the weekend, there was all the M3s, the AMGs and that, and everyone's came to this car because it was like, the younger ones were like, what is it?
What is it?
And the old ones were like, wow, there's one
I haven't
on the
seen
road.
one for however long. But by all means, listen, grab some of the sample books, have a little look through and see what you think.
If you was looking down.
No, you're not pushing me to do this. Listen, I'll help you in terms of getting the car right, in terms of, you know, like we'd look at the rear spoiler, for example, and say, all right, should we do that black or should we do it the colour or whatever we go for? We can sort of, we can blend and play around. That's not a problem. I can certainly help you with that. But to me, the colour choice, you've got to be comfortable with it as well. Simple as that. Like, I'd hate for you to sort of get the car done if you win and then drive out of here and go, do you know what, I've ended up with that, but I really wanted that.
Yeah.
I like this. Doesn't seem to have as many problems as the BMW, but again, we will get the MOTs checked. They will have to have new MOTs. The last thing I want to do is spend a lot of money on a car, them not to drive it for a long time. The whole idea is to spend money on the car and let them enjoy it for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Both of them, it's their pride and joys. So I know originally in the video, I think you wanted a satin black. And I was like, don't want to do it in satin black. I think it'll take the niceness away from the car. But yeah, let's go upstairs to see Stuart and see what he thinks. What a lovely car, drives really nice. Love the dump valve. What's with the mouse in the clutch?
Oh, it's been there a while.
But yeah, really nice, drives really well.
Stuart's idea is think back in the day, probably going to Southend, doing whatever else, that car scene back in the day. Yeah. We're thinking bold, we're thinking going back to the 90s as such, whatever. So we've thrown a couple of bits. TVR, Tuscan, think flip colours, that's a possibility.
Where's your head at? A flip colour in the sun looks awesome.
I would tend to go for that then, because that's the kind of car you only have out on a hot, warm day.
So let me see which one.
Towards the green yellow?
Yeah.
Gloss or satin?
Gloss.
Gloss. Is that your car?
He's a man after my own heart.
Oh
He's a man after my own heart.
His M3, we wrapped his M3 in that.
That was the colour I had. It's a great colour. It really is. I promise you, it's a great colour. Such a good colour.
Cool as it is, but
thanks, Avery.
If personally, out of these four, I think that, as much as I'm not a fan of that colour, I think that'll work best out of the other three, just because it has got that flip, it has got a different look to it. If you're doing the car shows, when the sun hits it, when you're driving down the road, people take pictures, and what colour is it? Is it green? Is it a yellow? It's just gonna flip around, which is what you want.
Yeah.
So we've got a flip colour, we've got a green, we've got a Nissan and a BMW, we've got a Briyan and a Stuart.
Got rust and not so much rust.
Me and Bert are going to sit down, discuss both cars, speak about yourself and Brian. You've made sacrifices because you've got a young boy. He's made sacrifices because he's got a young boy. So you put your families first. So it's now time to reward one of you with, I think, a nice prize. I think it's quite nice. How was COVID for you?
It's been terrible in one stretch, whereas I haven't worked, you know, we've been stuck in the house. Because I don't live with James's mum, I've never seen him for the first 10 weeks, which was the first time ever in my life, which was like unbelievable. But like I said to Bert, I've diversified. I've been trying to set up some other work for myself. You know, you don't sit on your laurels and put your hands out and get fed. You know, I mean, you go and feed yourself, don't you?
Listen, it's been great. Thank you for taking the time out to come down. I really appreciate it. Right, so myself and Bert are here. We've got Brian and Stuart. They're the two finalists for Wrap My Banger, BMW 6 Series, Nissan Twin Turbo.
300ZX Twin Turbo.
Anyway, one's yellow, well, sort of yellow, and the other one's
rust.
Grey rust, yeah. Yeah. They both need a lot of work. I'll be honest, when we started this competition, I was hoping to find a car that didn't need as much work, but the two we've put into the final probably need the most work out of all of them.
But I think they're both cool machines, old school, but yeah, wicked.
And I think both Stuart and Brian are both deserving as well. They've both got fantastic, cool stories, so whoever gets it, I think is well deserved. I feel sorry for the other person. A lot of people have said, why don't you just wrap both cars? No. Yeah, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So we're going to do one car only.
There are pros and cons definitely for both cars. So for example, you could look at both of those and go, right, Brian's car, and I don't think I'm being disrespectful, needs a bucket load of work versus Stuart's car.
Which still needs a lot of work,
but needs
not as
work,
much.
But that needs immense amounts of work, I think, to get that even to a point where we're ready to wipe it and clean it. It just needs so much.
Let's say both these cars were really good condition and they just needed a wrap. Yeah, and take Brian and Stuart out of it.
Yeah.
You got the 300ZX and you got the BMW 6 Series.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Straight away 6 Series. But that's because I'm a BMW fan. I like the Jap scene.
Yep.
But it's not really me, so that's why I'm sort of drawn over there anyway.
Okay, personally as well, I would go to the BMW. I'm a BMW fan. I love the 6 Series as well. My issue with Brian's car was that I don't believe it has a valid MOT. He did say, I think in the video you'd see that he said it had run out and he's got the extension because of COVID. But after Chris was like fingering his car and touching the carpet and things like that, it was a bit of a concern. Granted, the wing, well, half the wing, but he did have a new wing in the back. We also found some oil on the floor outside Yiannimize, which came from the BMW. Drove okay though, so that's real concerns with Brian's car. Stuart's car, okay, the bodywork wasn't great. It had rust everywhere. It is an old car, but overall, I didn't think it was that bad. We still need to do a lot of work to it.
Mechanically sound, it was whatever else. So
the MOT and stuff. And for me, the most important thing, I'm going to spend a good few £1,000s here, maybe even £5,000-6,000 here, probably more. And I want the individual to enjoy it. I want it to last 2, 3, 4 years, rather than do a car and it not last 6 months, or they have to say we're taking it off the road because it's not road legal, it's not safe. However, I really do like Brian's BMW.
Just judging by what you've said, you're swinging over here now.
Yeah, I'm swinging that way. Where are you swinging?
Stuart's car, mechanically sound. Yes, it needs cosmetic work, but that's the whole point of what we're doing, so that's absolutely fine. I do just feel that there is too much, and I think when we start pulling that car apart, I think we're going to find more.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me with it, because all right, yes, we're spending money on the vehicle and we're the whole competition is for us to do that. But I just feel like if we say, right, we're going to put £5,000 into a car, that could quite easily become 10 grand.
And then some.
Yeah. Whereas I think that to me is money well spent as such versus the BMW, which is a shame because I really like that car.
Yeah, same. As I said, I think we bit off a little bit more than we could chew when we pick the cars, because these are not their everyday runners, are they? These are cars that they use as and when.
No, yeah.
Whereas the majority of other people that are in the competition, they were using their cars every day. But these two cars really stood out to us. So I think probably based on the things that we've said, Brian, it's going to be a no, I'm afraid. Yeah, just too much work for your car, and as the MOT and everything else that goes with your car is a massive concern to me. So I'm sorry, Brian, not this time. However, Stuart, congratulations, mate. It is you. It is your car. It is your yellow 300 ZX Nissan that we come into Yiannimize and getting a full makeover. We're going to make it look so cool. Obviously, we discussed colours, but discuss colours. We'll obviously discuss that again. We will film this for you guys at home. But for the first series of Wrap My Banger, the winner is Stuart. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone that has entered. I'm sure we'll do this again. But yeah, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Take care.